Alright, so hello, this will be my first YouTube video. I've wanted to try this for a while now, and today I want to tell a story about me in school, little me in school. So, when I was around 13 years old, I had no friends in school and was really insecure and fat. And because I had no friends, I didn't know what to do in the break times. So I basically stood around in the school hallway for the entire remainder of the break because I had no friends that I'd spend my time with, right? So why this popped into my head is that I just came back from school like 20 minutes ago, and when leaving, I saw a kid that just stood against the wall and put his head down. And yeah, this kid stands there since I can remember. Like he's been switching places a couple of times, but it's he's just standing there every day. Sad. You can almost predict that he will be there every time of the break. Yeah, so these are not good times, right? And if you are in a situation like that, I just want to give you some advice on how I made it out. How I made it out of this social rut. That I had no friends and didn't know how to approach people and basically just standing there. Yeah, so what's important to point out is that nobody will approach you when you're just standing there. Because they almost feel this energy from you that you are not a good person to be around. They want to distance themselves from you. So you can't hope for anyone to get you out. It has to be you. So what I've noticed is that every kid I've seen standing alone was a fat kid. Maybe there are some insecurities growing up, whatever, some traumas, right, that get you to be fat. I don't know. But anyway, the thing is that you, even if you think you're not good, if you have these insecurities on fat, like I used to get bullied back then. I always said I have a Bierbauch, which is German and translates to uh, like old men have a giant stomach. You don't want to be called that. And it was bullying. I went to a school helper. The school helper told me, hey, we can do this and that. We can try the no blame approach, which was basically saying, yes, you tell the teacher about it, and then the teacher will come to half of the class and say, yeah, so this kid right there has problems. Can you please help him? Speak with him a couple of times during the breaks. It was a nice feeling. I got approached in the breaks. But what happened then is like you could feel that a girl oftentimes came to me and asked me how I was doing. Oh yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, that's so good. I knew that she was just doing it for the grade, and there was no deeper meaning behind it. So eventually, it just stopped. And there was an even fatter guy bullying me, and I never got it into my head that maybe I'm not the wrong one here. Maybe I can actually show myself to people, but I thought that I was just basically disliked by everyone. Because if even that guy didn't like me, there must be a reason, right? But it was this group of people who were also insecure with themselves. But back then, I didn't know about it. So, what you have to be in the situation is you have to work out your life basically. Because you want to have a good life. That's the goal of living, right? It's not to stack the most amount of money or have the most amount of relationships. It's about living a life that is good for you. And school is a very big part in your life right now, right? So you began going to school when you were 7, maybe. And if you disliked school since you were 7 years old till now, that's a decent part of your life, isn't it? So I disliked 4 years of my life because I went to school, just stood around in the corners. And what's even worse is that I tried to stay home. Like in elementary school, I faked migraines to get out of class faster and said I have stomach problems, whatever, to the point that my parents actually brought me into the hospital and had some plastic tube going down into my stomach so they could see what was wrong. There was nothing wrong with me. Yeah, it's kind of sick when I say that because I don't really remember the times, but right now I'm happy. Back then, it was probably the worst phase of my life. I stayed home, told my mother that I was sick, I faked it, and then I cried in bed because I was upset that I lied to my mother. Imagine that. So it was lose-lose for me. I got out of school, but this results in an even bigger pain for me. Lying to my mother, yeah. Yeah, to this day, she doesn't know about it, I think. But of course, I know that I've been faking the whole time. So for you, advice for you. The advice I can give you is to not worry about the things that happen to you right now, even socially, because people back then, kids back then, in my class, like 90% of them were insecure as well. And because they had some kind of different coping mechanism, they tried to bring it down on me, right? So there's nothing wrong with you, but probably you know what you don't like about yourself. So back then I hated being fat, but I told my parents, yeah, it's not that bad, it's not that bad. It was. And going into these habits that you can improve yourself on, maybe picking up a better diet or doing more exercise, right? These are all things that will impact you in your social life, in your self-worth. And you really got to build up that self-worth right now if you're in this rut. So you got to be the rock. You got to become the rock that is that can't be pushed by other people. So maybe you went up to a couple of people in your school, asked them if you could play with them. But they replied, no, we don't want to play with a fat guy like you. Be the stone and just take it as a loss. It's not your fault that these are bad people, right? So I say a lot. No. So build up yourself. You have a lot to be grateful for if you're in a situation like I was back then. I came home to a nice family, and this family just provided me with my favorite foods, snacks, And they asked me how I was doing. They watched movies with me, right? I was healthy. I could change a lot about my life. But back then, I didn't really realize that I could impact so much if I just changed a couple of things. I was still playing Fortnite every day and all day. Could you imagine what that did to my development as a young teenager? I stayed at home while the other kids were going out to parties. No, not parties, that's later, but they went to sport events. They went to sport events and then they build up their physique, their body, whatever, to not be fat. Right? And I stayed at home, did the complete opposite. I ate chocolate, chips, crisps, just played Fortnite, put on my little headset, got a little dent in my head, in my hair every day. I had no self worth, no self respect back then. Because if you have self respect, you would not spend your time alone on the wall looking at the ground. You'd find something to do. Maybe it's even reading a book, right? You can sit on a bench reading a book and it doesn't seem so awkward as if you were standing against the wall, 200 people going by you every day. It's more about the what will you do with your expectations right now? Will you hire them or will you stay at the same low you've always been in and change nothing and stay fat until you're 17? Until you have to change? Or you just stay fat and then live an unhealthy, bad life? I would not want that for anybody. So, giving advice to younger me would be to approach more people. Approach more people, take the drawbacks you had, the guys that push you away, don't want them around you, even though you were trying your hardest to be integrated into social life. Now, finally. Take that as a drawback. It's not your fault right now. Keep on pushing and see some friends around you, maybe in school. Maybe you can get a few of other. Talk to another kid that's maybe alone walking across the school court. Then you can walk the school court together, right? And if you have a friend in school, that you actually have a reason to come to school, it will immediately just boost your school experience up because now you can at least enjoy the breaks, not just stand there and feel like a loser. Yeah, so just something I've had on mind. Thank you for listening to this, if you've made it this far. I'll probably put my email down below if there's anybody relating to this that he might ask, yeah, what did you do? What can you give me on this specific scenario right here? So I'd like to help. This is I have nothing to sell to you, and this will be just a tryout if I like this. And if I can help people, if I can reach some people and supply some value to them into their lives. Alright, see you soon.